My name is Marciano McCullah. I'm from Waianae and I go to Waianae High School.
As we are uncovering all these crazy, amazing, beautiful stories from all over the nation, we stumble upon this beautiful kid named Marciano McCullah. He's playing for Hawaii's finest, a 7-on-7 team. And at the time that we had first met him, we were in the middle of Nevada in Mesquite, literally in the middle of nowhere. And we go to his game and we see him ball out, and then we meet him after the game, and he's this beautiful dichotomy of badass and the kindest soul that you've ever met. We find out Marciano's story and how recently his father had been murdered and how he had been a champion through all of it. So we decide to visit him in his home state of Hawaii.
Oh yeah, look, oh, somebody drowning. The water is really like my peace. Being in the water just takes away like all the stuff that happens at home and that happens like throughout my life. I just can just sit in the water and calm down. Right behind the bushes, that's the river.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's a river right over there. So in 2019, my dad got shot in McCall. It was over some stupid stuff my cousin was doing, like fake pills and stuff, and they got into an argument. They went over there for a fight, and then those people ended up bringing guns, and my dad got shot right through the lung and into the heart, so there's no way he could have made it out alive. Ever since that, still kind of numb. It's hard to get through my head that I won't see my dad again, but something I just gotta push through every day. When I see my siblings going through hard times, it really gets to me because it's honestly a pain that you cannot make go away. That's always gonna stick with you day by day. And for me, it's hard to see my mom go through stuff because they were together for 16 years, and for her to deal with my dad's passing and not being able to be with him, it's a very hard time. My favorite thing about my dad was I could just be me, and the times were just easier with him. The whole time he was with me, it was the best part of my life so far.
Marciano is a kid from a really small town on the other side of Oahu that hasn't had this luxury life, but he lives as if he has everything. He lives like he is a king because he is so deep and appreciative of everything that he has. We got to spend time with Marciano jumping off cliffs and hanging out with his friends. We got to also go to one of the small towns that's around there, and we ate snow cones, like real shaved Hawaiian ice. Like that's the real thing, the real deal, you know?
About to get some shaved ice with some condensed milk.
Banana and strawberry. And a condensed milk.
Could I get a small with mango and vanilla, please? With condensed milk and ice cream. Thank you. Gotta teach him the one down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll try to put it up for me.
So this chain, it just has dad on top, and every time I go into the water, I always bless it because I know he's watching me. And I love bodyboarding, so he always loved me what I was doing that I love. So I always bless it because I know he's watching over me, and I pray for like safety and that I don't get hurt. Football helped me to get through with my dad passing because he taught me how to play football, and he was there since I was little for football. So that's just my biggest dream, and he's guaranteed going to be proud if I was to make it to the NFL. So that's my #1 job now. To be honest, it's hard for us to get recognized unless we go up to the States and play. So playing football down here is like 1 in a million chance of making, but everybody wants to make it. So you just got to be the best out of everybody. Every day I do my best in whatever I can do for football by training, lifting, going to the field, running routes. I know my dad will be proud of me because I haven't given up on the dreams he told me to fulfill. And he told me, whatever you want to do in life, do it without anybody telling you what to do. So that's what I'm doing right now. He's salty, bro. He's salty. He's salty, bro. He's salty. He cannot catch. He need grip boost. # destroy him. Yes, sir. Dream is to make sure that my family is living healthy and that my mom gets a mansion. That is my dream. As long as my mom gets a big house, that's my dream has been accomplished.
A few months later, back in August, right before the school year, I get a text from Marciano, and you know, at this point in 7 Ships, a lot of these kids have become like my little brothers, and he messaged me and just said, you know, he needed a shot. He needed a bigger platform. He wanted to be seen by a college or something, and could I help him? That weekend, I was visiting my family in Kentucky. It's right outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, and both of my sisters live there now. My mom lives there. We are not from Kentucky, but this is where my family lives, just randomly. So I go to my sister Heather and I'm like, hey, what do you think about bringing this kid over from Hawaii? And my sister Heather was like, really? Like, where would he stay? And what do you know? And I'm like, I don't know, on the couch. Like, let's figure it out, you know?
Calling Haley was like the best thing for me. When you call her and you ask her for something, she'll get it done. And she makes sure that you're comfortable with the decision and like everything is planned well. The fact that we got everything planned within like a week or 2 blew my mind. It took me a minute to like regenerate and like actually think, wow, I'm moving across like the whole country to like pursue my dreams of football and getting a better education.
We said, okay, yeah, we're gonna do it. How are we gonna make this happen? He literally was on a plane flying 4,000 miles away. I kept texting him like, are you sure you want to come? It's gonna snow here. It's gonna be freezing. It's gonna, you know. But he's like, no, I want to.
But I first thought coming to Kentucky, I was gonna see a bunch of farms, and I asked him if they had a pet goat.
Do you have goats and cows? Or like, he thought we just lived on a farm.
Got into our car and asked if we had pigs.
We're like,
in Hawaii, that's all we think of as like Midwest states, like, damn, it's just farms everywhere and everybody just has a barn or something.
I guess it's how people in Hawaii like perceive like what Kentucky or what kind of the mainland's like, I guess. I don't know.
And then I come to their house and I see this nice brick house, you know, it's very nice inside. I look in their backyard and I'm looking for the pet goat and they're like, yeah, we don't have any pets like that. I'm like, what? I thought like, everybody has a goat, a cow, or a horse back here, but supposedly it's just like normal living, so yeah.
I remember putting my phone down and going straight to my nephew, Austin, okay? Austin's a baller. He's in 9th grade. He looks like he's in freshman in college. And I said to him, what do you think about you guys like adopting or bringing over a kid from Hawaii? And the first thing he said to me was,
is he a scrub? Because I don't want scrubs on my team. I don't want, like, if we're gonna fly someone in, he's gonna stay with us. He's not gonna be a bum. I'm not having that. But yeah, it ended up working perfect for us. He was not a scrub. Let me just throw that out there.
He came in, he was so aggressive and so ready to play.
First game, you know, I came in, it was like my 3rd day of practice, and we were going into a game, so I was like nervous, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna play or not.
He's already jumping in, and these guys are already in pads and stuff, and he's just trying to catch up. And even with that, he's still 100 miles an hour.
First kickoff I got on the field, tackle for a loss. I was getting crazy. That whole game I was flying around.
He's playing safety, and the quarterback gets it. They throw it over. Marciano meets the ball, meets the player, and just shakes this kid up. And all the coaches, you know, their eyes go up. Everyone's like, oh, so we know what this Hawaiian's talking about.
defense linebacker coach, Coach Keed, he's like, you know what? You flying around. I'm gonna call you the Flying Hawaiian.
The coaches asked me if we had another one. Do we have any more kids from Hawaii coming? You know, I mean, like, who else is like
Hawaii
this?
Relocation.
Yes, yeah. They're like, will you please establish a Hawaii relocation program? You know what I mean?
Head on up to the crib. Honestly, the beach vibe just reminds me of home. The little beachy vibes in here. Got the blanket, pillow, got the pictures. First thing you think of Hawaii, your head automatically goes to the beach. That's probably the most, besides my mom, the most thing that I miss about Hawaii. Sound of waves crashing. Sometimes you see some dolphins or whales, something on the horizon. Just gives you a real calm and relaxed vibe. Gift from Alexander's, Sean's Pro Bowl jersey.
I had my sister print out pictures of his family and put them up, and pictures of his dad, and you know, I thought, you know, maybe we could get him a basket with Hawaiian things so that he could feel like it was his home.
They gave me this basket and they just asked me, you know, they asked me what I was into, what I wanted, and they just stuffed it all in here.
A few days into this trip, my sister sends me this text message, and it's a picture of them practicing, and there's a huge rainbow over the field.
Just thinking about Hawaii and their symbol is the rainbow, and I was like, what? This is just, I mean, it was so prominent, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to Haley, and I was like, thank you for pushing us out of our comfort zone, because you just don't realize like what you're missing, or you know, the feelings that you have when you're able to give back and share your life with someone else, you know. He needed a better opportunity. He needed this for his life. It was like a sign from God, just, hey, you're doing the right thing. You know, this was meant to be. He was supposed to be here.
She's like, you will not believe this. And I said, what? And she says, well, today I was talking to Marciano, and he says, you know, I think my dad is from around here.
I started looking up his dad's obituary. It said Rodney Shane McCullah lives in Kentucky. I look up Rodney Shane McCullah, and it pulled up Newport, Kentucky, which is in our neighborhood, like it's right down the street. I was like, what?
What are the chances that his dad's first cousins and his brother, like they all are from not only our town, but Haley, they go to our church.
He had cousins who go to our church and were ushers at our church. And I was literally going to an event that night and walked up to someone. I was like, do you know Jeremy and Josh McCullah? Their last names are the same as his. And they're like, yeah, they, you know, they usher and they serve here, and they should be here tonight. I'm like, what?
Coming here and knowing that I have family here made me even more comfortable with being here.
And we were just, everybody in the family was calling one another.
He's getting to like experience the spirit of his dad through his ohana, his family, in a random city in the mainland, on the mainland.
When we got to see him and be with him, it was wonderful. Still is even today. I mean, we love him. We want him to go somewhere. And these people here are a gift from God.
Well, my sister's crying, I'm crying, and this is a Thursday night. Friday night, all of his dad's family show up at his game. So the Flying Hawaiian is making his debut in Kentucky, and not only has my family there, which is his new family, he has his real family there. Like, his dad's family all shows up. It's incredible.
Grandpa, aunt, uncle, cousins,
yes.
all of their kids
Yes.
show up to this game, and they were so excited they got to see, you
Yes.
know, him play.
It's like, oh, my nephew plays football or whatever. But when you actually get to see them and they're like, wow, they're talented. You know, like, they're a really good football player.
Marciano McCullah.
I got married just somewhat recently, and it just so happened to be like getting the same news. Like, you know, we're playing in the venue and stuff like that. And then at the same time getting the news that Marciano is actually going to be over this way. It was like, there's no way he's not going to be here at my wedding, standing up there with me, you know, because he's my family.
He got to stand at his uncle's wedding. His uncle just got married a couple months ago, and they said, we want him to stand, you know, in place of his dad, and got to watch his uncle walk down the aisle. I mean,
he's the best looking one up there, you know. He had dimmed everybody else's light.
It was a moment that made us all realize that, one, God works in mysterious ways. Two, there was no random chance that as we're doing 7 ships, I meet, you know, Marciano, and then he comes to live with my family, and now he is getting to meet his dad's side of the family. I mean, his dad being murdered, you know, was like one of the hardest things the hardest thing that he's ever been through, you know?
The reality of my son just getting shot rocked my world. It's like everything I wanted to do with my boy. I went into shock, I guess. And I went in and fell down on my knees. And I asked God not to let this stuff happen. And it's like I knew it all was nothing I could pray or do to make it be different. So
the fact that it took my dad to pass away in order for me to touch with my dad's side of the family really hit me. Yeah.
Marciano coming here and becoming a part of the family, we had hoped that it would be a very smooth and easy transition, and we definitely, I know for me, pleasantly surprised just because of his personality and especially fitting with our son.
They honestly are like 2 peas in a pod. It's really funny. So of course I'm like, oh great, like another Austin coming here, but no, it's fine.
Austin, having him as a brother, not so little brother, but kind of big brother, but not old, is it's crazy because I forget how old he is. You look at him and you think Austin is 20 years old. No, he is 14, almost 6'10". I'm like, bruh, this dude is huge.
In school and stuff, I'm more independent. I know everyone, but if I had to choose, I'd just rather roll by myself. But with Marciano coming in, Marciano's just been a huge connection to me. We're like she said, we're like 2 peas in a pod. We're very similar.
they get along so well. They're hilarious to be around.
Yeah, definitely. And then as Marciano's been here, even more of his personality has come out, and then his even his interest in love and music, very similar to Austin's.
We talk about sports, we talk about music. It just, it's like a best friend. Me and Austin putting everybody on these New Balances, them must go hard. Having Malia, she's kind of there to parent me. She's making sure I'm staying on my school. I'm not talking to the wrong kids.
I cook for them, I help them when they're here and mom's not here, mom and dad aren't here. I like taking care of them, and hopefully you guys like it too. Yeah.
Heather's just like my mom, caring, sweet, would do anything for her kids. Everything I look at like my mom, anything going wrong, she's right there. Even if you don't want to talk, she will get you to talk and have you tell her what's going on and what do you need help with. She helps me with school, getting my nutrients right, making sure I go to sleep, and she's kind of like me and Austin's chauffeur, because we always ask her to take us somewhere, and she just does it, just without any hesitation. For sure, my girl best friend. And Durant, losing my dad really was losing my best friend, and then having Durant there it's just great, because it's like having another father figure in my life.
You're stepping in and then just trying to insert some little nuggets of wisdom, here and there, because you don't have the benefit of having 17 years of that, right? Like, you know, this is now just boom, you know, you're just in it. It's just a couple months.
It just really brought me back to being like a child, and like, the fact I can like laugh, crack jokes, and, you know, sit down, eat, have real conversations, you know. Duran's just like a futuristic term for me. Like going to school, look at colleges, get my best education. He helps me with my film, you know, and he just brings that best friend connection of having a dad again back into my life.
One time, my sister sends me this picture, and it's my brother-in-law, Duran, teaching Marciano, showing Marciano how to tie a tie. Every little boy, every child desires to have those moments with their dad, you know? And it was just so cool how my brother-in-law Duran stepped in and just loved him passionately and does his laundry and holds him accountable, and then gets to share this moment where he's teaching him how to tie a tie. It was just this moment of redemption and redeeming, and not that he's replacing Marciano's dad, but that God got to use my family to step in and bless this child, you know?
You just try to fight to make sure that, like, man, he feels as much a part of this family as the other two.
Even though like I'm a foster kid and I came from somewhere else, and like what I've been through, they treat me the same as Austin and Malia. Like they have the same standards as for me as they have for Malia and Austin.
And I see this as a prayer answered.
The Alexanders
Miracle.
are a blessing.
Yeah, they are. The Alexanders are a blessing.
The most important thing I think in here is the Bible though. Cause like, to be honest, my faith in Jesus wasn't as strong as it was now. You know, I didn't go to church that much ever since my dad passed away, because like that was the last time I went to church. So it was hard. Like I would get emotional in church, and then coming to church now over here, it just feels good. Like I feel like more close. I'm not the closest yet. I'm trying to get baptized over here pretty soon. But yeah, I'm getting a step closer each and every week.
God's definitely making some moves, working somehow, because I don't see how else something like this would happen.
Wow. I love the Fly-In Hawaiian. He is now a part of our family, and we are so grateful that his ohana, his family, has become a part of our family. We are so grateful.
This last year, it just feels like God really like touched my life. You know, I was like at my darkest point, like at myself. Like I felt like I was gonna give up on school. I was gonna give up on football. And this past year really just like showed me that in order to succeed, you can't just be giving up on yourself because what you've been through. You can't just be like telling yourself, oh no, you've been through a lot, it's time to give up now. If I'm strong and I can get through this, then I can get through anything. And I can make things happen that haven't happened before. I can't just be looking at the past, I gotta look at my future. So I mean, this year was amazing, and if I could replay it over and over for my life, you know, I would do that for the rest of my life, just replaying it over and over.